hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. A woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman. Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Woman Without Limits. Today we have an amazing guest as usual, and I tell you, she is a woman that I met many years ago. It was about maybe 20 years ago, and she started dealing with me personally, and I'm just going to tell you the story in a short while as soon as you welcome her. Her name is Dr. Wakahe. She's a gynecologist, and she's come such a long way, and for so many years has discovered something that needs to be talked about, because it's taking out women every day. Like every day, many are dying because of what we are just about to discuss. Would you help me welcome Dr. Wakahe on set? Hello, Dr. Wakahe. Hi. How are you? I'm good. We met, what, about 20 years ago? Okay. When I started coming to you, you know, for gynecological matters. Yes, yes. You know, you're the one who actually first introduced me to the coil and all that. And then you started taking care of me when I was pregnant with Jeremy. Yes, yes. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
And then I came to you when Jeremy was about 4 months pregnant. Yes. Maybe we can start there, and you tell these people what you saw that baffled you until you told me, oh my God.
There were some growths on the uterus, which sometimes can push the baby around. But Jeremy was a strong guy.
Yes.
Pushed them around.
Right.
Yes.
And by the time I went to see the other doctor that you sent me to, God had already done it and removed those growths that looked like grapes. Yes. You said they looked like grapefruit, like a bunch of grapes. Yes. And I remember when I came back with my husband, and you looked and you said, what? Like there is nothing? You know, you couldn't believe. And you were like, continue serving that God. Yes. Those were your words to me. And I'll never forget. And now, Jeremy is what, 18? He's going to be 19. So God has been good and has done us well. Karibu sana.
Thank you, thank you.
There is a matter that is very, very strong in your heart right now that I need us to discuss about. Yes. And maybe I can let you now tell us, you know, about this thing that's ailing women. Yes. As you introduce her to us.
This lady is Rehab Kisopia. I've known her maybe the same kind of time as I've known you. I operated on her in the year 1998. And we are going to give her story a bit more, because she is really a great lady.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
So this thing, you've been a gynecologist for how many years now?
Oh, I've been a doctor for 41 years now.
Hello.
And I've been a gynecologist since 1984 is when? How many years?
84?
Yes.
Okay. 36 years.
36 years, yes. I've been a gynecologist.
Wow.
Yes.
For 36 years?
36 years.
You have given birth, you have assisted how many children?
Oh, I stopped counting at about 8,000. I stopped counting. There were just too many.
Right.
Yes.
You've been juggling between hospital to hospital,
yes,
to hospital, just bringing forth.
Yes. yes.
Just
yes,
helping women and mothers
Yes.
to become mothers.
Yes,
Has that been a joy to you?
Oh, it's the biggest joy. I tell people the two greatest joys, the two greatest sounds in my life are to listen to a heartbeat when it is inside the mother, and also to hear a baby come out and cry. Those two have kept me going all these years. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes.
To
They're
see
two
the
lovely
smile,
sounds.
right?
Yes, yes.
And to see the smile on
Of the
parents.
mother.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, yeah. It's like the pain was never there. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is awesome.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So it's something you enjoy to do.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
And you've done it for, you know, even when we met Dr. Wale with you,
Yes.
it was like, oh, well, I also delivered his children.
Yes, yes,
So
the
that's
two,
really,
the two last ones. Yes.
And so many people, when they heard
Yeah.
that you're going to come on Women Without Limits, they were very excited.
Yeah.
They keep asking, when is she talking? When is she, you know? So I know this program is going to bless a lot of people.
Yes, yes.
Now, there's something that's going on
Yes.
in the country that
Yes.
is really, you know, something to be talked about.
Yes, yes, and that is the cancer of the cervix. There's a lot of hype about HIV now and TB, so everybody is running towards that direction. And what I feel is that the woman has been forgotten where cancer cervix is concerned. It is there with us. Every day in our country here, Kenya, 8 women, every day 8 women will die of cancer of the cervix.
Every day.
Every day, every 24 hours, 8 women
Every
are
24 hours, 8 women
dead, die
are dead of cervical
of
cancer.
cervical cancer.
What are you talking about?
Last year, about 5,250 new cases of cancer of the cervix were discovered in this country, were diagnosed in this country. In the same year, about 3,250 women died of cancer cervix.
Just last year.
And yet, nobody needs to die of cancer cervix. That's the truth.
Nobody needs to die. Did you hear? Nobody
Yeah.
needs to die
Yeah.
of cervical
Nobody needs-
cancer.
Yeah,
But yet 8 women every day
they die.
are dying of
Yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes.
What's the story? Why is it that people are not getting checked? Or what is it?
The good thing about cancer cervix is that when the cervix starts to change, when it is infected by something we call human papilloma virus, once it starts to change, it takes several years. And it keeps changing and keeps changing, and you can tell that it's changing towards the worse. And you can catch it any time in there, in between, before it actually becomes cancer. Or you can catch it when it's very early cancer. So it's not like the other cancers. For example, breast cancer is even more common than cervical cancer in this country.
Right.
In the age groups of older than 45. If you take 15 years to 45, then the first cancer for women is cancer cervix. But if you take the whole womanhood, then the breast cancer is more. But the thing about breast cancer is when you feel a lump in the breast, it's either is cancer and will remain cancer,
Right.
or it is not and it will never be. So there is nothing you can do about that. It's good to check early, find that there is a lump and deal with it. But you're either dealing with cancer or you're not dealing with cancer.
Right.
But the beauty about the cervix is that it tells you for many years that it's going to become cancer.
It
And you can
tells
deal with
you?
it. Yes.
So how do you know?
You
How
screen
is it telling you?
by screening. If the cervix is screened on a yearly basis, somebody will be told it is changing, it is now normal, it is now slightly abnormal, it is now medium abnormal, it is now very abnormal, it is now cancer. Yes.
So tell me,
Yes.
why are they then dying? If it's not supposed to kill, why are they dying?
Because women will just not be screened. Mainly because maybe they are not aware that they need screening. But those who are aware are two reasons for those who are aware. One is that I do not want to be told I have cancer. I'd better wait for it and die. Yes, the fear of cancer. But I can't run for people and tell them this one doesn't have to be cancer. You will be told you are going to get cancer, not that you have cancer. And the other one is that people just don't want to be exposed because, of course, it's very private to check. But a lot of people are not even aware that they should be checked. Now, may I say this, that every person, people think it's women of a certain age that need to be checked for cancer cervix, or rather whether the changes of the cervix are happening. But anybody who has ever been sexually active needs to be screened for cancer of the cervix.
Of whatever age?
Of whatever age.
What?
Yes.
So even teenagers who are sexually active?
And that now brings us to the other issue.
Yes.
That our teenagers are having sex very early. A study in Kenya shows that at age 12, 10% of girls are already sexually active.
Age 12.
10%. If you take the age between 15 and 19, then 36% of girls are already sexually active.
Ooh.
So it's not something that one waits for age 18 to start doing. It's the minute somebody starts having sex.
Even at 12?
Even at 12, 6 months later, they need to be screened.
Every year?
Every year. And I fear I'm a Christian, and the best way to avoid cervical cancer really is abstinence. Never touch anybody. Abstinence. But we are hiding our faces in the sand, pretending that sex is not happening, and it is happening. Take the scenario of a girl who has been abstinent. She's a Christian, she's a good Christian girl, and she has abstained from sex. And she gets married as a virgin. And then, since they met with this boy who is marrying her, for the last 5 years, he also hasn't slept with anybody. But 10 years ago, he had. And then this girl who is a virgin marries this man.
Right.
And per bad chance, he had already contracted human papillomavirus.
Wait, men also?
Men are the carriers. Silent carriers.
Wait, Dr. Wakahe,
Yes.
please reverse a bit.
Okay.
Men are the carriers?
Yes.
So they are the ones who give it to the women?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yes. Men get it from the women and give it to the women, but men just carry. Yes.
So they carry, and then however many women they are sleeping with, they go giving
now
them.
that brings us to the next statement.
Yes.
The more partners, sexual partners a woman has, the more the chances of getting human papillomavirus, which is the thing that causes cancer cervix. Now, that's not enough. The more partners somebody's partner has, the more chances of getting cancer of the cervix.
Jehovah help us.
Yes.
So if your partner goes around with other women,
Yes.
or the woman goes around with other men,
Yes.
you get infected.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you're saying abstinence is the
For both parties. One can't not have abstained, and we call it clean. And the prevalence, the rate at which it is found in our country is really so high. It's 38%. 38% of the population will be carrying that HPV.
what? 38.
Fortunately, let me not scare people very much.
We are very scared right now.
Fortunately,
wow.
for 100 women who get the human papillomavirus infection, 80%, especially if they are below age 30, 80% will fight that infection completely.
And for us who are not below age 30?
It's a bit harder. It's a bit harder to fight that one off.
To fight it off?
Yes.
Okay, but what's the solution?
The solution is to keep screening. Keep screening. There are actually two solutions. One is to vaccinate young girls before they become sexually active. And there is a vaccine that the government hopefully will launch. It's very expensive currently. It's available in this country, but it's a bit expensive for every ordinary person.
Right.
So that's a way of preventing in a little way, not much, because that vaccine targets two human viruses. There are about 100 of them.
The viruses?
Yes. Some cause warts everywhere, some cause warts are out there. But 15 of them are known to cause cancer of the cervix. 15.
15.
Yes. Now, the vaccine, it's a good one. It targets, though, only 2 of those 15. But those are the 2 commonest. So it targets about 70% of all the infections.
Right.
So it's good to have vaccination. And I've read in some areas that people are saying if we give vaccination, then we are telling the girls to go and be promiscuous. But they already are. Would it be better to be protected? Or
So you're saying, like even in churches, we need to stop burying our head in the sand
we have to stop burying our heads in the sand.
and acting like it's not happening.
It's not happening. It is happening. It is happening. Yes. Yes. Even in churches, even for Christian people, it is happening. Yes. So because we cannot make them abstain, both parties, then it's good to vaccinate to protect that 70%. But the ultimate is really to screen, because you see there is no 100% of vaccination that it will work 100%. And even if it was 100%, we are talking it has protected 2 out of 15. So we still need to screen and screen and screen.
And screen and screen every year.
Every year.
Okay, is screening expensive, and where do people screen?
People screen in hospitals. In fact, our government has a setup that screens in a different kind of way, because it's a masses screening. They do it there and look and see if there is a problem with the cervix, which is a good thing, because if they find a problem, then appropriate action will be taken. But not enough women go that. But the trouble with that one is that because our population is a lot below 30, we have a very young population indeed, and sexually active. So that population, if you screen them like that, you are likely to catch those who are going to be the 80% who had the human papillomavirus but were going to fight it off and start treating them. So for people who are below 30, then the screening is pap smear. Pap smear, pap smear. In the Western world, they screen once every 3 years, sometimes every 5 years. But that's because the human papillomavirus is not so prevalent.
There?
Yeah. Here,
so why is it prevalent here? Why?
I can only imagine it's the sexual practice of this area. Yes. And let me hasten to add. The human papillomavirus is found all over the skin of the genital region. It's found around the anus, it's found on the scrotum, it's found on the penis shaft, it's found on the pubis. So, if one uses a condom, it's not a protection, because it just protects the shaft of the penis, but the rest of the area
is open.
Is open and has got human papillomavirus.
So you may
so
not
even
get
if
pregnant,
yes,
but you're getting that.
You'll not get pregnant, you'll not get HIV, you'll not get chlamydia, you'll not get gonorrhea, but human papillomavirus, if it is there, you'll get. Yes.
What? So the more the partners, the riskier it is.
Yes. Yes.
So either abstain or check.
Yes.
Okay. So when somebody checks,
yes,
and they find that it's there,
yes,
what are the chances, and how far? If it's gone far, then what?
You see, the thing about cervical cancer is it has no signs at all. At the beginning, there is nothing that will tell you that there is cervical cancer. So it is upon a woman to be screened when she is well. Now, when she is well, we'll do that thing called pap smear.
Right.
And we shall tell her it is normal this year, come next year. Or we'll tell her it's slightly abnormal, let's treat and see what happens. And especially if somebody is below 30, because then they are also using their immunity to fight.
Right.
Or the pap smear will tell you it is low grade, heading that direction, but not quite there. Again, let's treat and wait a bit and see. Or it will tell you it is now high grade. Now, once it hits the word called high grade, the next step will be cancer. So now we start dealing with it. So we can deal with it. In fact, the high grade, all we need to do is to cut up a certain area of the cervix. There is a certain area of the cervix where the cancer targets. It's called the transformation zone. And that's all we need to do.
Transforming what?
Accepting good and bad things and changing them. It's an area that makes the cells that go up the uterus and go down the cervix. So that area that is very always making cells is very sensitive to that human papillomavirus.
Whoa.
So if we find, we know exactly where it is. So if we find that there is high grade, all we need to do is actually remove that area of the cervix, because without that area, one will never get cancer of the cervix. And then if somebody still needs to have children, then when they are pregnant, we shall tie that cervix so that it doesn't drop the baby. Yes. So it's still possible to get children
even
after
with that?
high grade. Yes. But once it now becomes, because thereafter the next step is cancer. Now that is a major operation.
So, okay, but it's still treatable, even if it's that major operation, you can remove.
And the evidence is here.
Okay.
She had cancer, very early stages of cancer that time, and we operated on her 1998, and here she is.
Wow. 98, that is 21 years ago.
Yes.
That is 21 years ago.
Yes.
So maybe utatuelezea, you know, like how, what happened?
Okay. Nilianza kuwa mgonjwa sana, vitu zilinitokea kwa uso, pimples kubwa kubwa sana, so nikashindwa ni nini. All of a sudden hiyo change imetokea wapi, so nikaenda kwa daktari mwingine, akaniambia pana, hii si kawaida, kwenda katafute gynecologist. So mume wangu akanipeleka kwa Dr. Wakahe. Aliponiangalia akaona hii si normal, so akaniambia atanifanyia major operation.
Okay, ngoja nikuulize Dr. Wakahe, ulionaje uso ukajua si normal?
Now the good thing is that God just sent her over. Yes. The face had nothing to do with whatever she was going through. It was a totally different something.
So, oh my
But
goodness.
it's the practice to do pap smear when you appear in my clinic.
Yeah.
So that was just a by the way. I did a pap smear as a by the way. Whatever was happening to her face had nothing to do with anything. It wasn't a sign of what she was going through. God
So it's just God
yes,
who decided, let me give this woman many pimples.
Yes.
So she runs to a doctor.
yes, yes.
God has a way.
Yes.
He really
Yes,
does.
yes.
He has a sense of humor too.
He has.
Wow.
Yes.
So ukakimbia,
Yeah,
akaangalia.
akaangalia, akaniambia hii ni lazima tufanye operation. So, tukakubali tukiwa na mzee wangu, kafanywa hiyo operation. Na baada ya hiyo ndio mimi nashukuru Mungu.
Ulikaa na muda ngapi? Muda gani?
Yeah.
Ulikaa muda gani? Alafu uliugua, ulikuwa na uchungu, uliugua? What you gonna do? Ulikuwa na uchungu, ulisikia namna gani? Maybe unaweza saidia mtu mwenye anasikia, you know, kitu.
Ndio, nilikuwa na uchungu kwa sababu sasa naona sura yangu imebadilika. Shida ni nini? Sasa hiyo ilinipatia msukumo wa kwenda kwa daktari, kutaka kujua ni nini hii. Juu nikibadilisha ile cream najipaka, haiwezi fanya chochote. Hakuna mabadiliko. Lakini sasa nilipoenda kwa daktari na nikafanywa hiyo major operation, imagine kila kitu ikawa sawa.
Yeah. Ulikuwa na watoto tayari?
Yeah.
Ulipata watoto baada ya hiyo ama ulikuwa umemaliza?
Ulikuwa nimemaliza.
Ulikuwa umemaliza?
Yeah.
So ulikaa muda gani ndio upone ulipofanya operation?
Sikukaa sana. Hapana.
Uliogopa?
Sikuogopa. Nilishukuru Mungu. Nilishukuru Mungu kwa sababu nimeona mkono wa Mungu, na vile ilionekana mapema nikatibiwa. Hiyo ni miujiza. Kwa sababu ni kweli saa yote unasikia mama fulani amekufa nini kwa sababu ya kansa. Lakini sasa yangu Mungu alitaka ijulikane mapema na ikatibiwa. Na kupitia hiyo niliweza pia kusaidia mama mwingine.
Ukampeleka?
Nikampeleka tena kwa daktari na akafanyiwa the same thing.
Na kapona?
Amepona.
Wow. Sasa miaka 21. So you've done how many? So you've been doing those operations?
Yes. That's part of the job. Yes. Delivering babies, removing uteruses, removing ovaries, like that.
Anything to do with a woman?
A woman, yes.
Yeah, reproduction system.
Yes.
So Dr. Wakahe, what's your advice now? Because you're saying like 38%.
Yes.
What's your advice? What should the woman do?
The woman must, not should, must be screened. There are no two ways about it, because there is no point pretending it can't happen. To me, it can. And like I keep saying when I'm telling this, I'm not saying this to hurt homes, because when I say it is a sexually transmitted problem, then many families think I'm trying to say the husband went or the wife went. But what I tell people is that this could have been long before you were even married, because once the man or the woman gets human papillomavirus, it will stay. And there is nothing to tell you it is there. Even those women who don't have any changes on the cervix, there's nothing to tell you it is there.
What?
So it is something that is there, you don't know when you found it. So I like families to know. I'm not trying to say that your husband went or your wife went.
It could have happened a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Right.
It takes about 10 to 20 years for the infection to catch and hold. Some people, like I said, the infection will catch and go away. But for it to catch and hold, it takes 10 to 20 years for it to finally become cancer.
What?
Yes. Yes.
So like for her case, it must have stayed there for many years before now you discovered that it was cancer.
The only people who it goes faster are the immune compromised. So as we say that people who are not immune compromised, they are to do once a year.
Yeah.
The people with HIV, even if they are properly treated with the ARVs, those viruses tend to kind of help each other. So those people have to be screened like every 6 months. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I've seen many of those and been able to remove their cervixes and they still live on.
They live on and,
yes,
and they're
yes.
good.
So the people who are immune compromised have to be even more alert about screening than the rest.
So what you're telling us basically is that it doesn't have to kill you.
No.
But you need to start working on that now.
Yes, when you are well. That's the thing about screening, when you're well. And it's especially for women who we are talking about, it takes a long time to decide to not go to the shower or to not go to work, to just go for screening when you are well. And that's when it must happen, when you are well. You must be screened when you are well. By the time the signs come, which is a bit of bleeding when you have intercourse or funny discharges, by then it is actually cancer, and cancer that is spreading.
So it can spread to other parts of the body?
Let me tell you the baddest.
Yes.
The cervix is carried between, if you look at a woman from the side, then in front there is the pubic bone. Just behind it is the bladder. Behind the bladder, the urinary bladder, is the uterus with its cervix. And behind the uterus is the rectum and the anus. Now, this cervical cancer can spread to many parts, but before it goes even to the lungs and to the liver, it spreads locally, so that it will spread towards the bladder and make a hole between the bladder and the vagina, so that instead of urine just coming through the urethra, it comes through the vagina also. It can also spread backwards and make a hole into the rectum, So that stool, instead of coming through the anus, it comes through the vagina also.
Christ.
And the baddest of things is that when it is doing that, the cancer itself is such a big thing of rotten meat that there is also rotten meat coming out. So the worst thing you want to do is look after somebody with advanced cancer of the cervix. You go with a spray.
Because of the stench.
Yes.
Because now the body inside is rotten. Jesus. And they were not feeling any pain.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Even when those meats are coming out.
Now
there.
when it spreads that way, it pains. Now if once it starts digging into other organs, it pains.
Now, is that
pain.
too late? Is that too late?
Well, in the sense that it cannot now be cured.
Even chemotherapy?
No. You can irradiate somebody to make them a bit
More comfortable.
more comfortable. But you can't cure.
Going, they are going.
Oh, yes.
Going, they are going.
Going, they are going.
In how long?
You hope quickly.
You hope quickly.
You hope quickly.
Before they bring a lot of those...
Even the patient hopes quickly. Because you can imagine the smell you are putting on everybody. Yes, you hope quickly.
Dr. Wakahe is going to be coming to the Daughters of Zion convention. And she's going to be one of the ministers. That's why I told you we are doing healing from inside out. There's a lot of people that are going through this right now who are totally unaware. And this is something that's curable. But the more you keep it, the worse it gets. And then it kills you. Something that was never meant to kill you kills you. And it's totally unnecessary. So this is the time to bring awareness. And especially in the house of God. There is always, I have faith. Going to check does not mean lack of faith.
No.
Checking yourself does not have to do it with anything about lacking faith.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the knowledge God has given you. And knowledge is power. Because see, once you know, then you can do something about it. And you don't want to wait. Imagine your loved one getting holes and getting meats coming out of the body and stinking and all that. And it's something that could have been avoided. So Dr. Wakahe is going to be one of the ministers, and she's going to really talk to us on what to avoid, how to do it, so that we can be able to heal before anything crazy happens. And the fact that anybody sexually active is in that danger.
Yes.
Don't you see that there is a reason for us to really run and ask God for help? And this is it. So we go for screening. Is it expensive?
It's not really expensive. It would cost like 4,000 shillings.
4.
Yes.
4,000
in a year.
And then you save
in a year.
In a year. 4,000 in a year. People are eating one meal.
Yes.
For the
Yes.
one meal.
Yes.
Is that 4,000? You understand?
For a
if
year.
you go with your few people to a restaurant, in fact, you pay much more than that 4,000.
Yes.
And so, if you can take care of your body,
Yes.
the inner man, this convention is going to be about the inner man. This is so powerful because ignorance is what has plagued us.
Yes.
Ignorance. You see now, this is a survivor.
Yes.
And many have survived
Yes.
because they did something about it.
Yes. Yes.
So those are the horrible things that have made you to run.
Yes.
She
Yes.
called me and told me, you don't understand. I want to do this.
Yes.
It's eating her. She kept calling me even when I was in the States and telling me it's eating me.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she has seen too many people die.
Yes.
She has seen too many lives lost for nothing. They don't have to be lost.
No.
Yeah.
No. No. One can be 12 years old, be sexually active, get human papillomavirus, and by age 22 you're dead from cancer of the cervix. 10 years later, you're dead. And death is not a good thing, but death from cancer is painful, very painful, all cancers. But death from cervical cancer totally takes a woman's dignity away, completely.
Because everything is coming out from everywhere.
Yes. 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 Even the dignity. Yeah. The pain, the loss of dignity. Nobody wants to visit you. In fact, most of cancer cervixes just stay in hospital and die there. It's not like the other people who have home care. You know, you get cancer of the stomach, somebody goes home and they have home care. This one, who will manage the poo and the susu
And the meat's coming out. And all that. Who wants, and then the stench also is very scary.
Yeah.
Oh, may God help us. Dr. Wakahe, we have a few questions we would want to ask you.
Ask.
And then, you'll come and now talk to us extensively at the Daughters of Zion Convention. So you can, give us just insight and wisdom on the way forward and how to protect ourselves and, to be careful, and even our loved ones, to bring this awareness.
Yes.
Because if only 3% is getting screened.
Yes.
What?
In fact, like 3%.
What?
16% in totality have ever been screened, ever. 16%. And I'm talking about elite girls here. I'm not talking about the village
girls.
I'm talking about girls like this. And in the last 1 year, only 3% accepted to be screened.
3%.
And yet it's such a, simple, a bit invasive, not invasive, but that you get exposed.
Right.
But it's such a simple screening.
Yeah, the like the pap smear.
The pap smear.
It's,
Yes.
I mean, I've done it with you many times.
Yes.
Many times pap smear. And you know what? We're going to ask the Daughters of Zion, how many have ever done pap smear?
Pap smear.
You'll be surprised.
Yes.
You'll be surprised. They'll tell you, I'm saved.
Yes.
You say, have you ever done pap smear? I'm saved.
Yes.
May God help us. Yeah. So you'll come and take us deep in it and extensively, so that, and then maybe at that time we can even do the screening.
Yes.
We can organize.
Yes.
That we do the screening here.
Yes.
Because sometimes we have, amen.
Yes.
Until your mind changes, your life will never change.
Did you know that your thoughts hold the master key to the life that you desire? Just think about it. If you want to change your life, you must change the way you think. Did you also know that experience is not the best teacher, but wisdom is?
I am so excited to be bringing to you my latest book. I'm calling it Think on These Things.
In his new book, Bishop Allen has put together a collection of power thoughts, insights, perspectives, and practical applicable wisdom drawn from his exciting years of experience. Inside the book, you will find deep insights on the power of purpose, integrity, self-leadership, excellence, the power of the mind, among others.
Truth is a universal commodity. Wherever it is applied, it produces the same results.
If you want a better marriage, you are responsible to make it change. Did I say you leave that man and go to look for another one? No. The wahala you find in another one will be worse than this one. So what am I saying? Whatever you need to change, work on yourself to change it. Our attitude and behavior flows from our frame of mind. Our attitude and behavior flows from our frame of mind. And if we use self-awareness to examine them, then we can often in them see the nature of our hearts. Listen to me. Our language is a real indicator of what we think. Our language is a real indicator of what we think and what the degree to which we carry ourselves. You have to start speaking positive things into your life, because that's how you will begin to change. You need to choose your response wisely. So you have to start thinking, what have I been speaking that has ended me here? And what can I do to change that level of thinking?